I told you people, that's all we do on my channel is win. Now you PlayStation fanboys are upset because now you finally starting to see it for yourself. And like I told you before, bro, always bet on black.
Has been the fact that we now know that Sony isn't as rich as we kind of expect.
I could have told you that.
PS5s sold, tons of games charting on the best-selling games of the year list.
And guess what? It means absolutely nothing.
You would expect them to have a lot more cash on hand.
No, that's what you fanboys expected. But there was rational gamers telling you people otherwise. Now all of a sudden you starting to see the metrics for yourself. Now you're like, oh man, now I see why Sony can't make no AAA games and they out here canceling The Last of Us multiplayer.
When in actuality, that's not the case.
What I'm trying to tell you people, man. Yo, this is a sad day for PlayStation fanboy gamers, man. Like I said, man, that's all we do on my channel, win, man. Just like you guys into this console war, you know, I play on PlayStation because I think I'm winning the console war. But when it comes to content creators, you better support me because apparently Gamesta knows everything.
Is spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing their games.
Now you want to talk about the budget. Now I feel like a lot of you content creators are biting my content, man. When have you people ever talked about this? Like, I'm starting to think that Dreamcast guy watches my channel because now all of a sudden he want to talk about the software sales? Really? Now the hardware sales don't matter? No, keep using it. Keep using it. The 50 million console sales for PlayStation is helping Sony. Keep using that angle, man. Don't be out here taking my information and trying to act like it's yours, bro. Because I was saying this way before anybody. And y'all know this.
And sometimes they're not getting that back. So,
woo! Gamesta with another W. What did I tell you? I told you Sony wasn't making money off software, and I told you Sony wasn't making money on hardware. Now all of a sudden, Dreamcast guy want to talk about it, bro. Stop biting off my content, bro. Seriously. Like, I mean, come on, man. Go back to regurgitating game articles, man. Seriously. Y'all out here taking my content for yours. You know, like, well, Gamesta, it's not necessary. I mean, it essentially taking my talking points. You name one content creator that be saying the things that I be saying in my video. I bet you can't name one. Exactly. Because you know why? They're not controversial. You know, they scared to touch on these topics. But guess what? Gamesta's channel, we ain't afraid of anybody. That's why I respect the people that follow my channel because they like the truth and awareness of YouTube. And that's what we all about, baby.
Talk about is their actual sales numbers. Some internal metrics have been leaked that show the best.
You had to wait for a leak. We already knew this, man. That's like this dude complaining about a plumbing issue. Oh, he's like, oh, look at the faucet. It's finally leaking. Bro, come on, man. Now it's all over the floor. The pipe broke. Now all of a sudden these PlayStation fanboys like, I don't know what to do. This is crazy. Now my basement is flooded. I told you people.
Selling games ever by PlayStation. Not just with the PS5, but also the PS4, PS3, PS4, and PS1. And I must admit, I'm kind of shocked how some of the most legendary games ever didn't sell as much as you might expect.
Didn't I tell you? PlayStation fanboys play third party. Gamesta with another W.
And I also compare it to some Nintendo Switch sales numbers just to be a bit unfair. But let's talk about.
The funny thing is, you guys probably think like, oh, look at that. Sony sold a game for $24 million. I mean, look, it's on PS4 and PC. I told you guys that a lot of gamers jumped on PlayStation bandwagon with the PlayStation 4. I mean, just look at these sales, bro. A lot of them are PlayStation 4 titles. You see that? God of War Ragnarok was successful because the game was bundled with PS5, and I guarantee majority of the people bought it for the PlayStation 4. Y'all like, well, look at that. I mean, look at it. Gran Turismo, that's all you people play. Last of Us 2, look at this. You PlayStation people don't be buying no exclusive games. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yeah. No, I told you. During the PS4, you guys did. You did. But ever since the PlayStation 5 and any other PlayStation console before it, no, you haven't. I'm sorry, man. The proof is right here.
Zero Dawn a 10 out of 10, But when I think of it, I definitely don't imagine it.
Now you see as to why Sony's out here remastering games for the PlayStation 4 for the 5. Now you finally see what I've been trying to tell you people.
It's the best-selling PlayStation game ever, outselling all their much more legendary and much more influential titles.
Wow.
Now, I did see this great analogy where people are basically saying,
now we finally want to talk about the software sales that I've been trying to allude to you guys for quite some time. And the funny thing is about this, y'all like, well, Horizon Zero Dawn still sold about 24 million. And guess what? That game sold 24 million probably on one console. Look at God of War. I told you, 23 million. Marvel Spider-Man alone for the PS4, 22 million. Where's even Miles Morales? Where's Marvel Spider-Man 2? Guess what? Oh, it is there. That came out on PS4, PS5, and PC. So that came out on 3 platforms, while Marvel Spider-Man only came out, well, it came out on PS5 also, but they got the PS4 sales, and it still outsold all those games. I told you people, man. Look at this. The list don't lie. You tell me Sony got way more exclusive games than this. And it goes to show you that you PlayStation gamers support third party more than you support exclusive games, man. This don't prove anything. This just proves to me that you guys play nothing but third party. And I guarantee the only reason as to why God of War Ragnarok is even there has more to do with the fact that it came out on PS4.
Games are getting bigger. So much of the gaming industry has exploded during the PlayStation 4 era. I mean, it was truly the heyday of gaming.
PS4 is overrated, bro. I'm sorry. The PS4 was the console that a lot of you people started playing on PlayStation, as you can see by the sales, right? I mean, look at this. Forbidden West came out on PS4 and 5, and yet it still can't do better than Horizon Zero Dawn. That's so funny that Horizon Zero Dawn did so good when it came out, but look at the sequel in comparison. So it goes to show you that a lot of these PlayStation fans lost interest. They lost half of their population. That is absolutely crazy, because I guarantee all the people that bought Breath of the Wild, I guarantee they picked up Tears of Kingdom. So why is this not going on with Sony? It seems like people were comfortable playing on their PS4s, playing the exclusives that they got on their PS4 consoles. They don't really see the reason to upgrade.
Not just cool, but extremely mainstream. Everybody had to own a console. Everybody was gaming. And so it's interesting to see that you'll notice a lot of PlayStation 4 stuff here way up at the tippy top.
Told you. Didn't I tell you guys that a lot of people jump ship with the PlayStation 4? Didn't I tell you guys that? I told you guys that in one of my previous videos. You see, you people can't contest with me when it comes to this gaming knowledge, bro. This dude had to wait for a gaming leak. I already knew this already. So if you want your real source of entertainment and comedy and logic and reasoning, come to Gamesta's channel. We'll take care of you. Because when it comes to the truth and reality, we got you. Don't listen to these fanboys, bro. Because as you can see, according to Dreamcast guy, now he's finally agreeing with me.
Now, next up, Marvel's Spider-Man, 22 million copies sold. Uncharted, A Thief's End, 18 million copies sold. So some people are talking about the fact that these numbers are slightly skewed because of pack-in.
Hold on. Oh, you want to throw that argument? Oh, you want to throw in that argument? Well, in that case, then God of War Ragnarok shouldn't be there either. That was bundled in with PlayStation 5 consoles. Matter of fact, how could you say that for Uncharted 4? Because a lot of people, and like I said, I think it was bundled with some PS4s, but I do know a lot of people that went out there and bought that game, right? Like, come on, man. That's not even the same comparison, bro. So you already admitted that a lot of the reasons as to why these sales are so high, because these were bundled in games. Gamesta with another W.
Basically, if you're selling a console and you're including a game with it.
Woo! Just like they did with Final Fantasy 16 and every other exclusive Sony. That's even more embarrassing. Forbidden West did absolutely horrible then, because the game was bundled with PlayStation 5 consoles, and yet it's still lower than the first game that they came out with on the PlayStation 4.
Count as a sale. So obviously anybody who bought a Nintendo Wii back in the day, Nintendo Wii.
Man, I guarantee my community is laughing right now. We're like, got him. We knew this time would come, man. All this before the end of the year, man. It's a beautiful sight.
Sports that's like basically just a little goofy game
Delusional.
that everybody enjoyed. It came with the Nintendo Wii. So since the Nintendo Wii sold 100 million copies.
Hold on. You're taking my points though. Hold on. I said that in one of my videos. Like, is this dude really taking my content, bro? Because I've said that in one of my videos. Bro, I'm telling you, Dreamcast gotta be watching my videos, man.
That means there's 100 million copies of Wii Sports. So some of these games that were a pack-in, like Uncharted and Last of Us Remastered, and to a lesser extent, Spider-Man was part of a Black Friday bundle. That is going to inflate the numbers somewhat. I don't.
Yes, but the funny thing is, we can talk about inflation all we want, but guess what? The PS5 did the same thing that you complaining that the PS4 did, and guess what? Those sales numbers are still higher. So regardless of which way you trying to spin it for the PlayStation 5 so you can damage control, the PS5 and the PS4 did the same exact thing, except PlayStation with the 4 made more money off their software. End of the discussion.
I think as much as people are kind of pretending it's like completely the success of this, but it is interesting to me that these games, again, I don't feel like I see that many people talking about Uncharted 4 compared to like Uncharted 3. It's wild still to think that they sold almost 20 million copies a pop. This one's absolutely wild to me. God of War Ragnarok has already sold 15 million.
Yep, and you can thank the fact that it was bundled in with the PlayStation 5 on top of the fact that the game also came out for the PS4. Bro, I told you guys, PlayStation is banking all their money off PS4 owners. This is why you playing cross-generation games. Because the PS4 was so successful that Sony just can't abandon all that lost revenue and money. They're making so much money off you fools. Why would they abandon the PS4 so early?
Copies? My God. Now, this one, I guess, isn't too surprising. Before Ragnarok came out, it won a bunch of fan polls as the most hyped game ever. So the fact that it actually sold this much, not a huge shock, but this amount is still just bonkers to me. Now, I want to specifically highlight some of the PlayStation 2 games on this list here because this is funny to me. Gran Turismo 3, Gran Turismo...
Didn't I tell you guys that a lot of people that had a PS2 only bought it for Gran Turismo, a DVD player? Where's the exclusive PS2 games? Like I told you, the PS4 was Sony's most successful console. As much as you people want to say it was the PlayStation 1 or the PS2, no, because the PS4 hit all the check marks. Subscription service, they were making money off that with the Call of Duty and stuff. PlayStation Plus, they made money off the software, all the games that they made. And then they also made money with the hardware. You get what I'm saying? So the PS4 was a very successful console for Sony, but the PS5 isn't.
Turismo 4, what do we got down here? Where's some more?
That's why Sony's relying on the PS4 for software sales.
PlayStation 2 games. You can see it's funny to see the fact that, honestly, these PlayStation 2 games that are near the top are Gran Turismo. Look at this.
Game still with another W.
Gran Turismo. Man, people.
So funny because you guys always talk about, you Xbox fans, all you do is play Forza Motorsport, but you guys do the same thing by playing Gran Turismo. So I don't understand as to why you people make that as a complaint when you guys do the same exact thing.
Realize this, but Gran Turismo is the biggest selling sports racing franchise. Just across the board, Gran Turismo is
still not better than Forza.
The top racing franchise of all time. I mean, it outdoes Forza, it outdoes everything else by a huge metric. But man, it's weird to see.
No, hold on. You said it outdoes Forza. Then if that's the case, then where's the PlayStation 4 and 5 version, right? I see Gran Turismo Sport. That's about it. That's about 12 million. Forza's doing way better than that. What are you talking about? A lot of those Gran Turismo games that you're talking about came out early during the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. We already know about those games being successful because at that point, Forza really wasn't really out there like that. You get what I'm saying? So you're using games like, Gran Turismo was always better than Forza, when Forza, to a lot of people, only really got established until now, right? You get what I'm saying? I mean, I would go as far to say that Project Gotham Racing is better. But that's just my opinion.
Gran Turismo 3 sold 15 million copies.
Now, and guess what? They didn't need to bundle it with no consoles.
Again, this was a pack-in, so some of these numbers are just because the PlayStation 2...
So that goes to show you that if a lot of these games are pack-in, that means a lot of people ain't going out there buying these exclusives on their own merits. This is sad, man. Sony put themselves in this position. I told people they need to stop worrying about Call of Duty and trying to promote their games for their PlayStation diehard audience. But I forgot, you people don't like these games. You don't. You like third party. You like Grand Theft Auto. That's why you guys were so mad when Microsoft acquired Bethesda and Activision, because those are the games that you like to play. Well, guess what? Now they're owned by Microsoft. So if you want to continue to play them, you better get through the Microsoft ecosystem or buy an Xbox.
So big. Miles Morales. Now, I want to actually focus on some games here that I'm surprised about. The Last of Us Part 2 selling 10 million copies and Ghost of Tsushima selling just shy of 10 million copies. Both of these were the end of the PlayStation 4. Obviously, Ghost of Tsushima.
You know what this shows? You know what this indicates to me? That there's a lot of fake gamers out there, man. You know how many PlayStation 4 consoles they sold? And yet, even then, I mean, I know 9, 10 million still looks incredible, but you got to think about that, man. That's like not even 95% of the people that went out there and bought a PS4. I guarantee if you've seen Call of Duty sales, it'd be completely different. Or Grand Theft Auto, right? It'd be much different. It'd be like 50, 70, 80 million people bought it on PS4. But when you see a game that's an exclusive to your PlayStation platform and your console has over 100 million hardware sales and your games are barely even hitting 10 million, that's a problem.
Oh my God, it's re-release on the PlayStation 5. But to me, it is wild that the last year of the PlayStation 4 was still such a...
Wow.
I'm Questlove.
In certain console generations, as you begin to sunset your hardware, games sell less. But with the PlayStation 4, games just kept selling more and more and more.
Yeah, but where's Returnal? Where's Destruction All-Stars? Where's all the games? Demon's Souls Remake, Final Fantasy 16, right? Let's talk about the games that came out only on the PlayStation 5. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is only in 28th place, right? Which is actually kind of impressive. It's at 6 million. I think the game broke even, but it would have still had to sell more to make up the budget that Sony spent. Right? Crash Bandicoot. I mean, come on, man. This goes to show you that a lot of you PlayStation gamers don't buy exclusive games. This is all this proves to me.
Man, some of the stuff that I think I'm the most...
The only time you guys will play it if it's a pack-in bundled game. Maybe Sony should work on a service and subscription very similar to Microsoft, because at this point, ain't nobody buying these games for $60 to $70. So they might want to copy Microsoft in regards to Game Pass, because that to me, it seems like the only time you people willing to play PlayStation exclusives is through a service subscription or a pack-in bundled game.
Interested in is the fact that a lot of these PlayStation 3 games sold pretty good for how low the PlayStation 3 sold.
What? The PlayStation 3 sold about close to 90 million, if I remember. What is you talking about, bro? I mean, you had so many great games that came out on the PS3, and it's quite sad to see that you don't see Killzone, you don't see Resistance, you don't see Warhawk, Falcor, Starhawk, Motorstorm. You don't see any of those games, because you know why? They all failed. Twisted Metal. I mean, come on, man. Sony PlayStation 3 had some of the most incredible games, and yet you PlayStation fanboys was too busy playing Call of Duty and instead not supporting your exclusives like you claim.
3 definitely was a very slow burn. It became popular towards the end of its life cycle, but there was for a long time. The PlayStation 3, when it first came out, was $600 for...
So gaming is mainstream, right? And this is why I try to tell you guys that gaming will never go back to what it used to, because you know why? It's mainstream. Clearly, a lot of people started gaming with the PlayStation 4. We don't even see... The PlayStation 1 was so successful in hardware sales, but we barely see any PlayStation 1 games here. We barely see any PS2 games here. So a lot of you guys started playing gaming with the PS3 and the PS4. The PS4 definitely, right? That's why we got a lot of these MBGs, because look at it. Ain't none of you guys went back and played a PS2 or a PlayStation 1.
Models of it, people were not thrilled. And so the Xbox 360 early on completely took off. So it's still cool to do the amount of Last of Us, God of War 3.
Which is kind of sad, because these are the same games that Sony has been pushing for over 15, 16, 17, 18 years. Uncharted, God of War, it's the same games. Gran Turismo. I mean, come on, man. It's the same exact games. Like, I mean, come on, man. You can't make this up, bro. Like, this is sad, bro. This speaks volumes in the longevity of what Sony's going to do with their platform. Because, I mean, come on, man. You're trying to tell me that all this device is for Last of Us and Uncharted and the same old games that we've already been playing?
Uncharted 2. These games still sold millions and millions of units. Wow. look at all these PlayStation 1 games on here. Wow, Crash Bandicoot Warped.
That don't count because those games are third party. And the funny thing is about that, Microsoft owns the Crash Bandicoot license. And like I said, it wasn't really an exclusive. It wasn't. Universal owned those games. Naughty Dog only worked on it because the PlayStation 1 was easier to make games for than the Sega Saturn. A lot of games that came out on the PS1 were actually originally supposed to be developed for the Sega Saturn. Look at games like Tekken. Tekken was originally developed with the Sega Saturn. No different than Tomb Raider. Just saying. Know your gaming history.
Almost 7 million. Here's one that I think people are very much focusing on, which is Days Gone. Now, remember, Days Gone is not getting a sequel. Apparently, according to a bunch of talks by the developers, PlayStation did not like the fact that it was only getting 7 out of 10 review scores. It wasn't the best game ever.
You see, and the funny thing is, a lot of people enjoyed Days Gone, but you see that type of energy that you PlayStation fanboys put out there, guess what? Sony probably said, you know what? We know what our hardcore fans want. They always talking about Metacritic. So every time a game gets a poor score, they're not going to go out there and buy it. And if you notice one thing, a lot of these games are highly rated on Metacritic. I'm starting to think that Sony's out here giving these professional gaming journalists a check just so they can get good review scores so they can get more sales for their video games.
Now, myself, I even didn't like Days Gone that much, but I was hoping for a sequel that would actually improve on the less amazing aspects of it. So the fact that they have said we're never going to get a sequel to Days Gone, that sold 9 million copies. This is such a huge success. Now,
yeah, and all these successes came from the PlayStation 4, like I've been trying to tell you. So that goes to show you that you PlayStation gamers have been fake all the way since the PlayStation 1, all the way since the PlayStation 2, all the way since the PlayStation 3, and until PlayStation 4 is when you guys decided to pick up a PlayStation platform, or actually if you had one, instead of stop using your PlayStation console as a DVD player, to actually start playing some games on it. Wow. You know, I'm deeply saddened that the PlayStation community, you guys ain't nothing but a bunch of fake gamers. It took for you guys, for the PS4, for gaming to finally take off for you. I've been gaming ever since I was just a child. You can clearly say, oh no, come on, games. No, because let's just be honest, gaming was for the minorities. A lot of people that I knew, they didn't grow up playing video gaming. Now everybody's playing gaming now, right? You can clearly tell that a bunch of fake gamers hijacked the gaming community for themselves, and they wanted tailor-made and cater to how they want to go about playing games. That's why they always talk about movie actors. They never talk about gameplay, cinematics, and story. Because you know why? That's what these people like to do on PlayStation. Watch movies.
A lot of people are poking fun of the fact that Mario Party Switch, which is considered to be the worst Mario Party, everybody is bad, it just absolutely sucks. Mario Party Switch, an absolute garbage Nintendo Switch game, has sold more than pretty much every PlayStation game ever.
You see that? I told you. Nintendo gamers are actually out here buying their software. And the funny thing is, who said that before anybody? Gamester. I got another W. You see how easy it for me is to collect W's from you? It's like playing Donkey Kong 64, getting all the golden bananas, man. Like, it's this easy, bro. Like, you might as well, I mean, at this point, my channel ain't nothing but a collectathon, man, because I'm out here collecting W's off all you YouTube content creators, man. Like, come on, man, I'm out here playing Banjo-Kazooie.
When you actually compare it, it's not even fair. The best-selling Nintendo Switch games, 57 million copies, 43 million copies, Animal Crossing, 32 million.
Woo! Nintendo gamers, can we get a round of applause for the Nintendo gaming community for actually supporting their console with exclusives? Respect to the Nintendo community, and on top of that, they don't gotta put they gotta put it on the Wii U so we can compensate for sales. We gotta do all that. Nope, they could just put the game on Switch and people gonna buy it.
Copies of Smash Brothers, 31 million, Final 27 million.
Let's go, Nintendo!
My God, 26 million.
Let's go. Nintendo out here showing you Sony fanboys how it's done. Look at that. Even that game got a bad score on Metacritic, and it still outsold every single one of your PlayStation glorious exclusives.
Trying to compare Nintendo numbers to PlayStation numbers, not exactly a fair metric.
And the funny thing is, Nintendo is not spending the same amount of money to bring those games out to the public, but Sony is. They're spending $300 million on games and not getting that money back. And this is why I try to tell you guys when Dreamcast guy says, well, it appeared that Sony was making money. No, that was your fanboy antics. That's what you wanted to believe. I told you, how was Sony going to make how are they gonna make money selling a console with for $500 with 10 teraflops and a 1 terabyte SSD with a controller that has DualSense technology? You really think that's all worth $500, you console fanboy? And on top of that, a CD drive player? You gotta ask yourself, that is definitely one hell of a bargain. How is Sony making any money off this? I don't know. But according to PlayStation fans, Sony was making $50 for every PlayStation 5 that sold, when in reality, all those consoles sell at a loss. It's been like this since the beginning of the gaming industry, bro. Companies always sell the consoles at a loss and made the money. Now it's service and subscription software. That's where it comes down to. But service and subscription money is way more important because it's easy money. They don't even got to do anything. Microsoft says, oh, we're getting the same amount of money just to allow you to play a game day one. It cost them nothing.
But I want to actually go into this and look past the top 30. This is the full list posted over on Icon Era. And what's crazy to me is just the fact that, honestly, a lot of these PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 games that, to me, are the most legendary didn't sell nearly as much as I would have predicted.
Woo! Let's go. Let it all out, PlayStation fanboys. Let it out. Go ahead.
Like right here, God of War sold 4.6 million.
Yeah, because people was out there using it as a DVD player. What did I tell you? That goes to show you that a lot of people that got into gaming is fake. Like, how you gonna have God of War at 20 million with the reboot, but then you got the first one at 4 million sales, but then you people want to act like, oh yeah, I grew up playing those games too. You people ain't nothing but a bunch of pick-me girls, man.
And Clank,
pick-me
gamers.
gamers.
Sold freaking 4 million. That's completely shocking to me. Drive Club, Spyro the Dragon, Infamous Second Son sold 5 million. What the hell?
Told you.
Gosh, here's SOCOM. I think something you can definitely tell when you start to actually look at these numbers is the games that we be huge successes were sometimes not as big as we thought.
Yep, that's what I try to tell you, PlayStation fanboys. Gamester with another W.
Twisted Metal 2, 1.7 million copies. Like, that's the best card.
Look how low Demon Souls Remake is at about close to 2 million. I mean, come on, man. This goes to show you, and that's a lot of those PlayStation exclusives that Sony don't really do anymore. ATV, really good games, man. Resistance 3, you starting to see a lot of good PlayStation exclusives not really selling that well. And this is what I was trying to tell you people, man.
Combat game ever, and it's below Crash Bash. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Luckily we have Knack on the list. Here's something people have been talking about, which is that every Resistance and every Killzone game sold worse and worse. Wait.
Yep, I've actually brought up that point.
I can't even find it. Where the heck is... Where's Resistance? Yeah, here we go. Resistance. Wow. Resistance Retribution. I love the Resistance and I love the Killzone games, but I guess it's obvious why they stopped making them. God.
Woo! Let's go. Gamester with another W. That's why you don't see these games no more. For all these quality play. Look at the Legend of Dragoon. Look at these games, bruh. I try to tell you. Now y'all like... Now I see why Sony doing remasters and remakes, because that's all you people playing. You don't care about good quality games, but it also comes back to my original argument. You gamers are fake. I can read out a fake gamer a mile away. That's why when I be having conversations with these dudes on Xbox, they talk about how I grew up playing gaming. Every person that I knew grew up playing gaming, they all agree with me. These dudes be acting all irrational and acting like you think you know everything, because I do. I grew up playing video gaming. You people just jumped on ship. Just because you think you older than me doesn't mean you don't know. Doesn't mean you know more than me, and it doesn't mean you've actually established and played as many games as I did growing up. You just jumped on it because it's popular.
So many games on here.
I'm surprised Twitter and Discord ain't on there. It should be at the top.
That I just expected to sell more. Twisted Metal 4 sold 1 million copies. Killzone 2, one of the most like legendarily overhyped games of all time, sold 1 million copies.
Told you. Didn't I tell you guys they weren't making money on those games? But you know what, man? Shout out for the real 1 million, because I did have this game. Shout out to the real 1 million that went out there and bought it. But if you come on PlayStation now, they'd be told, oh, I played it growing up. You know, I used to enjoy Killzone. It's so funny how we got all these PlayStation fanboys saying they grew up playing PlayStation games, but yet all the PlayStation games that were beloved only sold about 1 million. I mean, look at it. Look how, bro, Infamous is only 1 million? Infamous, Dark Cloud, you understand how good a lot of these games are? Scython Filter, this is embarrassing, man. Unbelievable, bro. Like, now I see why Dreamcast guys shocked at this list. But just like I've told you guys before, these PlayStation fans don't buy exclusive games.
What the hell? Twisted Metal Black, 1.1 million? This is blowing my mind. Legend of Dragoon, 1.3 million.
Wow, Heavenly Sword is low too.
I guess I think this is just kind of opening our eyes to the gaming bubble.
That's so funny because I've been opening people's eyes and you be sending people to hate on my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? But I'm happy I did open your eyes. Y'all like, yo, I don't know if you watched it. You had to. Because I'm the only one talking about these type of things. There's not a content creator on this platform talking about the things the same way that I'm doing. There's not. And all of a sudden, you got a video talking about the software and how Sony's not making. These are all my talking points. You out here biting off my content, bro. Is this his way of like trying to remove me off YouTube? You know, let me get him off YouTube. So I'm going to go watch his video and take all his talking points and using them on my own channel. I mean, come on, man. People need to call you out for this. You taking my talking points.
You know, like when you're inside the ecosystem, when you're inside these discussions, when you're spending time on YouTube.
Yeah, you see, you heard what he said, spending time on YouTube and Twitter. Yeah, that's right. Because you don't know nothing about video gaming. You too busy engaging in console wars, and ain't none of you people went out there and bought Killzone 2, because that's why the game's at 1 million sales.
These games seem massive. They seem like they're taking over the entire planet. They seem like the biggest thing of all time. It's weird to think that all the Twisted Metals combined sold less than freaking Heavy Rain, an interactive movie game. Like, wow. It is just weird.
Well, it is what it is. That's what you people like to play. So
that gaming, as big as it is, as profitable as it is,
it's not profitable. Because if it was profitable, a lot of these games would continue to exist. This is why Sony is harping on and attaching themselves to the games that do work. That's why they're doing it. Because they know you guys are going to buy them. I'm sorry. This right here proves that video gaming is over. If any of you people have faith in Microsoft, Sony, or even Nintendo to change the way we go about video gaming, it's already over. Enjoy your games, enjoy the moment, and stop complaining about this console war garbage. Because at the end of the day, I mean, don't complain. I mean, continue to enjoy this console war stuff, because at the end of the day, once you people stop doing that, then I guess I ain't got no more content, right? So at the end of the day, I'm going to keep calling out this behavior, but I'm quite happy that Dreamcast guy finally sees it for himself, that this is what we've been talking about. My community, myself, these are the talking points that we've been trying to bring to a lot of people like yourself and other gamers alike's attention. Now we finally see it. Hopefully people that watch this video can see it too and finally decide to open their eyes.
I mean, sometimes sales are lower than you would expect. Little Big Planet 3 sold 5.3 million. There is no justice. These numbers are absolutely wild. But what do you guys think about it?
You better have a talk with the PlayStation community in regards to that. Hopefully you start garnering a bunch of PlayStation fans where you can have these legitimate discussions, because we've been having these conversations on my platform for a long time, even from my other old channels that have been terminated. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is a long one, but it is very discouraging. This goes to show you that Sony don't know what to do, and they're going to keep relying on the same games that work. That's all this video proves. So, like I said, enjoy your games. Don't engage in this console war nonsense, because if you guys really think Microsoft's going to save the gaming industry, in reality, all they're doing is saving themselves. Y'all like, oh, you calling out? Yes, I'm being honest. All Microsoft is doing is saving themselves, because at the end of the day, there's nothing that Microsoft can do to really change anything. That's why a lot of Sony fans are mad that you went out there and bought Bethesda and Activision, has more to do with the fact that it's a future-proof idea. You're like, okay, if nobody buys our exclusives, well, we at least got these third-party games, right? But they're exclusive through our ecosystem. So Microsoft made sure that they secured the idea for themselves. But at the end of the day, this doesn't, like PlayStation fanboys will say, and it is true, it doesn't help gaming. It only helps themselves. So like I told you guys before, gaming is dead. It's over. The only thing Microsoft is doing is letting it stay afloat, maybe just a little bit longer. That's all it is, man. And at the end of the day, you can't fault them for that. You can't, because honestly, that's more than what we can ask. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe.